Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Father Fish in the morning. Delighted to be with all of you, especially Naresh, Fish and Tactics, Ruby Begonia, Dark River Aquatic. Stay safe on your drive to Albany. Delighted to be with you all. Mermaid's Chorus is here. Hello, Mermaid's Chorus. Oh my! I don't know if you can. Can you hear the music at all? I'm playing it, but I don't think you can hear it. Pompeii Ranch. Hello, Pompeii Ranch. Happy to see you. Oh my goodness. Hey. Oh my, great to be here. Mark Croswell and 3G. Hey guys, how are you? Nice to see you. Great to be with you all. Well, I had a bit of an event yesterday. Michael Long, hi there. Thank you very much. It took a little effort. Nice to see you, Michael Long. I invited some friends out to dinner and got in my van. I have an old 97 Ford Econoline that I had for the shop, and I've kept it. It's been real dependable. So I headed out to pick them up at about 20 miles south. Before I got out of my development here, I made the final turn to go out and heard a pop and lost steering. The wheel just spun and my brakes didn't work. Well, I was going about 10 miles an hour. So I banged into a brick wall. Was not injured, thank God. And thankfully, it did not happen out on the highway because I might not have survived it. Apparently, the tie rod broke or some such thing. And I just had it in the shop having the whole front end worked on at a substantial cost, a couple of grand, as I recall. So I hung around for 3 hours waiting for a tow truck to come. I couldn't move it, blocking traffic. And they finally towed it up. I called the shop this morning and they've got it. They will look at it and we'll get a verdict a little later today. But it makes me afraid of the vehicle now. Because something like that happening when I'm on the highway or traveling at a higher rate of speed would not be recoverable. So I don't quite know what to do. It's my only vehicle. Anyway, that's what I'm struggling with right now. Other than that, everything is wonderful. I was hoping to be able to get out and do some collecting this week. Might happen tomorrow, but it's a little problematic at this point. Don't know when I'll get my vehicle back. In any case, let's see what's going on here. See if we can maybe pull up YouTube so I can see things better. right there. What's going on? Okay. Oh my. My angel was with you indeed. If that had happened 1 minute later, I would have been traveling substantially faster. 1 minute. Just amazing. Yeah, it was pretty scary. I mean, fortunately, it wasn't life threatening, but it was really disheartening, actually, I guess is the right word. JDR, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Tam Shepard, hello, Tam. Michael Long, did I say hello to Michael? Well, I am now. Mark Croswell in 3G, I did say hello to. Nice to see you guys. So good to have you all here. What's going on? We're trying to get a video together. It's a bit of a struggle because it has a lot of moving parts. And I don't know how all that really is going to work out. If once we get it, it's going to be wonderful. I've got about 3 or 4 people involved in it. We have to get them working together, and each of them has to do some things that are going to take some time on their part. So it may be a while before we get this out. The video will be, I hope, a seminal piece on the creation of a food web deep substrate aquarium. So if we can make that happen, it'll be a demo. So we'll actually be putting one together. And we have a lot of special effects and videos. We're going to try to have pictures in it and video clips of the tanks of some of the folks, particularly those over on Discord, who are doing these food web deep substrate aquariums. There's some pretty exciting stuff happening over there. I got it wasn't a call, it was an email. Got an email this morning from somebody who was hoping would pop in. They may get. But they raised an interesting question. They have a number of tanks, and due to all of the shutdowns and whatnot, have no income. So they can't afford to buy all of the substrate in order to get the tanks set up. Well, this is where Father Fish shines. So we're going to work with them. I asked them to come on over to Discord. We're going to work with them to get these tanks set up at no cost, 0 cost. And I believe we can do it. So if you're interested in seeing how all that goes down, join us on Discord, and hopefully this person will come over there and we'll be able to work with them. Should be a lot of fun. Oh, let's see. What else is going on here? Not much. JDR, Aquatics and Reptiles. Hi, JDR. Nice to see you. Good to have you with us. Too Coley for Schoolie is here. Hi there. Nice to see you. Been a while. Let's see what Tam Shepard is writing all about. Giving a virtual hug to Naresh and aquatics. JDR, right. let's see. What's the difference between a shoal and a school? Smart Aleck. Pompey Wrench. We ought to throw this one. We ought to throw this one open to the shoal. Difference between a shoal and a school. That's a really good question, isn't it? A shoal. Here's my best guess. Not, how do I want to say this? A shoal can be more than one school. A shoal can be a migration of fish, incorporating numbers of schools. Typically, a school of fish is a family that has grown up together, hatched, grown up together, and hangs together. Uh, it occurs only among schooling or shoaling fish. But a school is, by and large, I think, a group of fish that are typically of the same class. There's another one, class. What is a class? Class has to do with a hatching occurring at a given point in time. So all of the trout, for example, that hatch this year in given rivers are considered a member of the class of 21. It all gets very confusing, doesn't it? I don't know if I want to push it any further. James Shepard, just saying hello to everybody. What is that long guy in the tank behind your right shoulder? That is, here he is. Let's take a look at him. There he is. You can see him. He's moving around. Can't get this. I don't have an extended wire on this. There he is. It's a salamander. It's a native Florida salamander called a siren. I've owned him for 3 or 4 years. It's a female, I think. There she is, looking for food. They have 2 front feet, no back feet. They're 100% aquatic, and she's about full grown. She's about, I don't think quite 2 foot, maybe 20 inches or so. Looks like she has some damage on her tail. Somebody may be chewing on the tail. See if I can spot it. Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Last year, Frank caught a group of them, a school of them, a shoal, in a culvert. They were all kind of bunched together in a culvert. I guess they were spawning, I don't know. But we had about 6 of them, and I think they've all gone to various homes. Any friends in there with her, just some cichlids, which if they're chewing on her tail, I'm going to need to take them out. Axolotl. I really need to get axolotls. I've got so many kids calling me wanting axolotls. I guess I need to get back over on Facebook and try to get some in, try to buy them. Or what I would like to do is get some eggs and hatch them out. I did that a few years ago. It was a lot of fun, and it worked out pretty well. Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know what that's referring to. 3G. Down here in Louisiana, we call them mud puppies. Um, Might be the same thing. I've heard mud puppies. That term is used to describe a lot of different kinds of things. It may very well be exactly this, and I'm sure they're in Louisiana. Um, I don't think they range very far north. You get up further, and the hellbender kind of takes over that niche. Now, the hellbender is a completely different animal, of course. There's another one that has four legs. It's also native to Florida. Doesn't get as big around. It's more narrow and maybe a bit shorter. Still gets easily a foot long. Can't think what it's called. If Frank shows up, he'll know. Nalaj 17. Good morning, Nalaj. Nice to see you. We're going to turn you blue. Let's see if there's anything else back here. J-Dog is here. Good morning, J-Dog. By the way, we have, see if I can get it up and we can show it. We have a new t-shirt on Teespring, which I'm very excited about. Courtesy of Rocco. Rocco put it together for us. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe. Oops. I have trouble navigating. Also have trouble seeing. New digital product. I just my problem with this is I don't know where to look to find anything. Create analytics. Listings, maybe it's a listing. Yep, looks like maybe. Let's see if it'll pop up. Well, it's popping up 1 inch. Honestly. Yeah. I don't know how to make it bigger. Let's see. Let's show it and maybe. I'll do this. Share screen. It ain't gonna work. I don't know if I can do it. I don't seem to be able to. Anyway, if you got a Teespring, you'll see it's a Teespring. There is a link on the homepage. It's a big picture of Father Fish titled Father Fish on a black t-shirt. I think you can change the color and size and probably even the type of shirt. So finally got it. Thank you, Rocco. Oh. Big City Badass is saying I started feeding some of the animals on, on my lanai fruit repotching. I now have an army out there. Oops. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you're going to love it. She just moved just moved to Florida and is getting used to all the new wildlife. Chief of which are animals. Now, up there where you are, you should have green animals. You should also have green tree frogs. Those are the natives. What we have down here in southwest Florida, southern Florida, are the Cuban animals and the Cuban tree frogs that have driven out the natives. But I rather expect are they green? You have green ones or brown ones? You should have green ones up there. It's a little bit colder, and the Cubans don't fare as well as you get a little further north. So I'm sure eventually they'll drive them out there too. But last I heard, there were still some native animals in the north in the north central parts of Florida. Patricia Powers turned my tank up to 86 after an ick issue seems to be resolved. That was Saturday. Time to take the thermometer out. Just turn the heater back down. Turn it down to 82 and then leave it at 82. That's a good stable temperature and will prevent the ick from returning. So no, I wouldn't take, you're saying thermometer, I assume you mean heater. I would leave it in. Since you've had a problem, just do the safe thing and leave it in, set it on 82, and you shouldn't have any more trouble. Leslie's Aquatics. Hello, Leslie's. Nice to see you. Rigo, good morning. Question, how do you feel about cover your tank with glass cover? If you have floating plants, is it beneficial or not? I think so. It holds the humidity in, and I think that's beneficial for the plants. Of course, if they're plants that want to grow emergent, then you really can't get away with that. Some people create a glass box, an inverted glass box that sits on top of their tank to accommodate emergent plants. That works really well. I've done that. I did it at the shop, and it was pretty cool. Just a real effective way to be able to have plants growing up and out of the tank, and at the same time be able to maintain 100% humidity. But yes, I very much support glass tops. I prefer glass for a lot of different reasons. It's more stable and solid than a light plastic thing. Doesn't crack. It'll break, of course, if you drop it or drop something on it. But I find that it's a really effective way to go. Got some horror stories about glass. I remember wanting, I love what I tell you this. Let's see. Big City saying I'm already loving it so much. So many different frogs and lizards around here. There's a giant white frog that lives on my roof and sounds like a goat bleating. So very strange. A goat. That sounds like, I don't know, white. Could be a white tree frog. That's interesting. Don't know about that. Heater, yes, right. Yeah, leave it in, Patricia. I think you'll be happier doing that. I hit the like button, but the thumbs up doesn't turn black anymore, Patricia says. It should turn white. Mine turns white. Of course, that's probably because I've got black background. If I did away with that and had a white background, it probably would turn black. So I don't know. Don't know. I don't understand these things very well. Excuse me. Damn Shepherd making coffee. Noah likes fish. Hello, Noah. Nice to see you. Great to have you here. Fish Stream's wonderful big city, but she's going to love it. This is a real nature girl. She's going to have a great time in Florida. Excited for you. Is 6.42 acidic for tetras or barbs? Not necessarily RCS. Depends what, if that is your water, then what you want to do is check the pH of fish that are coming in. If it's below 7, you're going to be okay. If it is not, then you need to set up a separate small container to put new fish in as an acclimation tank. And you need to spend 3 or 4 days acclimating them to the lower pH. Don't try to do it in a minute or an hour or 2 hours. It doesn't work. If it's going to be more than one full point, like from 8 to 7 or 7 to 6 or 7.4 to 6.4, then you really need to spend a couple of days acclimating them. Stephen over on our Discord channel talks about this. His water is 6.0, so he has to acclimate everything. And it takes a week to do it. You do it slowly and gradually. Take 1/20th of the water out, put it in. Do that twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, and then test it routinely so that you know it's dropping. Once it gets down to within a couple of points of your tank, like 6.6, 6.7, then you can move them over and it won't hurt them. Excuse me. If you try to do it without acclimating them, going from alkaline to acid, it could cause extreme stress that could be sufficiently extreme to kill the fish. So it's important to not do that. Again, if it's 1 full degree from like 7.5 to 6.5 or some such thing, if it's a full degree, then going down, you must acclimate. Going up, it doesn't matter. If you're going from 6.5 to 8.0, put them in the tank. They'll be fine. It has to do with, I don't want to use the wrong word here. I think barometric pressure is the word I want to use, and I don't think that's the right word. It has to do with the pressure of the water. Harder water has more pressure. Acidic water has less pressure. The effect of that on the fish, given that the fish balances the pressure in each cell in its body to correspond to the pressure in the water. Keep that in mind. That's really the key. So if you have a fish in 8.0, for example, that means that the internal pressure in every cell in its body is 8.0. It's balanced. If you take that fish out and put it in 6.0, here's what happens. The pressure pushing in on the cell is substantially less. So the pressure inside the cell expands to compensate. And it will expand to the point that the cell ruptures. I've seen fish go into tailspins and die in a matter of minutes. from just that, from moving a fish from an 8.0 to a 6.0, or even a 7 to a 6. Going the other way, the pressure is internalized and it can withstand that. Doesn't make it rupture. It's stressed, but not to the point of killing it. It'll compensate. In time, it compensates. Fish are able to compensate for that. But that's the issue. So you want to make sure before you put a fish in the tank, if it's coming from an unknown source, check the pH. Make sure it's at least within 1 full point of your water. If it is, do a shorter acclimation, but you should be okay. To acclimate fully takes about 3 days. Put them in a separate tank, an acclimating tank. Take 1/20 of the water out. Replace it with your water, and do that twice a day. You can do it 3 times a day. And then check it, and you'll see when it gets close enough to be able to put the fish in your tank. Tam Shepherd is saying, birthday party on the 14th. Oh, damn. Really? I'm going to be 81 on the 14th. Coming up. That'll be fun. We'll get Rohan to make us another cake in the Himalayan birthday cake. That was great fun last year. Big City Betta said, I chased a raccoon off my carport last night, the size of a golden retriever. The wildlife here is ridiculous and amazing. Yes, it is. And you don't get rid of raccoons. Once you got them, they're there to stay. You can trap them and move them, and somebody else will move in. If you're going to feed them, keep in mind, it will get out of hand. It'll get out of hand to the point where you will have 20 raccoons hanging around waiting for food routinely. But it'll be fun. Tam, if you haven't come over to join the party on Discord, you must. Come over and join in the conversation. And she's posted the link. It is wonderful fun. Those of us who are there are just thoroughly enjoying it. We've got I don't know how many, 10 or 15 different conversations going on at once. We have different channels in the station, if you or in the server. And you can plug into any one of those. You can also rise up in the ranks and assume some responsibility for maintaining the site, and that gives you access to more channels. So that's a lot of fun. And we talk about a wide range of things, some real serious stuff having to do with fish. We even have a channel that we call it memes, but it's really politics and religion. It really is. Patrick Paulson is in charge of that, and he's amazing. Comes up with world-class memes routinely. I have another one called Tisha's Corner. Tisha is a delightful woman. You've met her here more than once, who maintains a conversation. It's an open, friendly conversation having to do mostly with hobbies outside of fish, other hobbies that people have. So lots of fun. We have an emergency channel for people having trouble with their tanks. And there are folks designated to come over and help you, whatever the problem is. You just click on that issue. You'll find a list. You click on the issue, paste it, and you'll get help very quickly. Maybe not immediately, but it'll be very quickly. RCS wants to know, is feeding once a week fine? If there is adequate biomass in the tank, if you've got some kind of food web so that the fish are able to forage and get something, then yeah, feeding once a week is fine. If you have a lot of that, then you can even forego feeding once a week. But unless you've got a really strong food web, I recommend you feed once a week. Twice a week is fine. Just make sure you're not putting so much in there that food is laying on the bottom because it deteriorates. In addition to which, if you feed heavily, the fish waste also deteriorates, which causes very much the same problem. So watch that. But yes, if there is foraging food, natural live microfauna in the tank, or plant material that fish like Malawi cichlids, for example, are able to eat if there's a good algae growth, then you can feed less frequently and they'll be able to supplement with the food being produced in the tank. Let's see. How do you maintain a quarantine tank? You want it to be bare. Depending on what you're quarantining and why, you may need to medicate. You want clean, clear, new water. You do not ever feed fish in a quarantine tank unless you're acclimating them to put them in your tank, as we described just a few minutes ago. You're better off, however, not feeding because you really don't have the nitrification in that tank to be able to take care of ammonia. And you could easily create an ammonia spike that would harm the fish. So while you're quarantining, it's a good idea not to feed at all. Fish can go an extended length of time, weeks or even months, with no food at all. So you're not going to starve them out if it's going to be a week or so. Particularly if they're damaged, you absolutely do not want to feed because that will generate bacteria that will infect the wound. So do not feed if your fish is in quarantine in order to heal from some kind of damage. Now, those are the basic things. You can do water changes routinely, 100% if you want. If you have any reason to believe that the water is declining in its value, you can do that. The main idea is to put a sponge filter in there, keep it clean, don't feed. Once the treatment has worked, then do 100% water change, get them out of the treated water, leave them in the new water for a day or so to make sure they're okay before you put them back in your tank. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my. All right. Derek Thompson, raccoons are like cats. Do not feed them. Remove and seal along the baseboards and outer walls of the premises. Dogs are great deterrents too. Yes, they are. But not little tiny dogs. We're Dunlap. My grandmother cooked raccoons in milk to keep them from tasting. Oh, dear God. What? I don't even want to read that. We're Dunlap. You're a madman. Big city menace. No, I dare say one should never make the statement that any designated space will work for fish in a tank because it does in nature. The minute we put a fish in a glass box, we're going against nature. Well, that's true enough. We do what we can to duplicate and to replicate nature, not just the look, but the reality of nature. And we can do that with the food web, with plants, with the deep substrate. There are a lot of things we can do to replicate. No question, however, but that little glass box is never going to be the same as a creek or a stream or a river or a pond or a lake. It just won't. But you can get close. You can get close. That's all I'll say about that. Patricia, there goes Breaky. What is she talking about? And what is Big City referring to there? I don't know. Let's see. Now I've jumped 20 down. Let's see. Space that works in nature for territories often only works due to fish's ability to escape situations. Can't do that in a tank, especially with an inch per gallon. Very much dislike that math. I do too. I think it's ridiculous. 1 inch of fish, 1 inch of fish per gallon. So you got a 5 gallon tank. You're going to put a 5 inch Oscar in there, right? How long do you think that'll last? Or 5 guppies in a 5 gallon tank. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. I don't know whoever cooked that one up. I've been hearing it for years. It doesn't make sense. The issue of aggression that Big City is bringing up is a really critical one. There's what's called an escape area. For larger fish like Malawi cichlids, that escape area is between 18 and 24 inches. So if fish are chasing and they get separated by that much, the chase will end. So you need a tank bigger than 2 foot to keep Malawi cichlids so they can escape that kind of chase, that kind of aggression. Well, another thing that helps, of course, is having a lot of cover so that the fish can hide. A lot of driftwood, rocks, plants, that sort of thing. Oh, let's see. Roman Chirac is late. Hi, Roman. Nice to see you. Your unsolicited opinion. Big City, your opinion is always solicited and always appreciated. Don't ever feel that way, please. We cherish you and are delighted you're here with us. Noah likes fish. He didn't like you can put a tank in 7 gallons, but 4 green banded gobies can live in 7. Yeah, like that, exactly. We're done like critters were in my granny's food web. Sounds like. I don't know about the dog, though. I mean, I know, but this is a cultural thing, I guess. Big City, no, I think you'll still find fighting and interspecies violence. They simply aren't meant to be contained so close together. I don't know what fish she's referring to. Noah, let's see, maybe I can find it. Noah, here it is. I figured out that 1 inch per gallon works in the Great Barrier Reef. There's 4 1.75 inch fish in a 1 square foot area. And 1 square foot with 1 foot tall equals 7 pounds. It's actually closer to 8. A cubic foot is about 8 gallons. Yeah, I guess the problem, Noah, is Big City's right. It really doesn't work. It depends on the fish. If it's little tiny fish, you can have 100. If it's big fish, you cannot have 1 in like a 5 or a 10 gallon tank. So it depends entirely on the fish and the size of the fish. Let's see, 934. Yeah, Amber's also saying there's a massive difference between a fish surviving and thriving. Always strive for thrive. Very good. Strive for thrive. That's really what the Father Fish channel is all about, is helping our friends find ways to create an environment in which our fish can thrive. That's really the key, isn't it? And there are ways we can do that. that work and that are really effective. Some fish, I'm sure, can never be kept in captivity, and not necessarily larger fish. There are fish that I gave up trying to keep as a kid, like silver sides. I don't know if you know what that is. A silver side has such a very high oxygen demand and demand for open water that it's virtually impossible to keep it in a tank. Then there are others that are fish like that, particularly fish that come out of fast-moving water that require very high oxygenation and also require more or less open water to be able to survive. So some things we can't compensate for. Amber is saying to Roman that Roman asked her how she's doing. It's kind of rough, but nothing, some paint and a lot of bleach can't fix. How long was your place empty, Amber? Was it recently emptied or had it been there vacant for a while? Sylvia B, it's for new fish before they go into a community tank. What is she referring to? I don't know. Aquafunk is here. Hello, Aquafunk. Nice to see you. He says he personally came up with an inch per gallon ratio in 1657, and I stand by it. Well, if you've been around that long doing it, then you must know what you're talking about. Even though you don't know what you're talking about. Aquafun, happy to see you. Delighted to have you here. Howard Van Tassel, good morning. Papa Shrimp, hey Papa, nice to see you. Rainer Trofer, hi Rainer. Tam Shepard, any ideas why my beautiful spiral valve has started melting back? Parameters are still stable. Gee whiz, there are a score of things that could cause it. I would do some substantial water changes. There may be a trace element problem. Check the temperature. It may be too hot. Water changes will restore the water to its native or its original condition that the plants were presumably thriving in. That's probably the first thing you can do that could be beneficial. Don't start throwing a lot of chemicals and vitamins and fertilizers and stuff in. That may be the wrong thing to do. Start with what's obvious. And what's obvious is that the plant is missing something that probably is in your water, that it's burned out, used up. Do water changes and see if that makes a difference. You might pull one of the plants out and see what the roots look like. If the roots are fine, then it's probably going to come back. If the roots are black, dead, rotten, then you've got a whole other problem that may not be solvable easily. But check that as well. Pull one plant out and take a look at the roots. If there's serious odor problem, if the roots are rotted, then check another one and see if it's just that one or if it's all of them. I've had it happen. Generally, it happens. Oh, why does it happen? It generally happens because there's something in the deep substrate that is burning the roots. If it's a brand new substrate, it's one of the reasons we recommend in a brand new substrate, you only put the plant roots down about 1 inch. That may not be the case at all. This may be a well-established tank. But keep us posted, Tam. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Aquafunk, 1657. He was the first one who ever kept tropical fish, 1 inch per gallon. And it only was one kind of fish. It was a, what was it? What was the, it was a darter. It was a darter. I know what it was. He was catching darters and he was putting them in big ceramic pots. That was before they knew what gallons were. Big city. Speaking of Oscars, I found a 16 to 18 inch in the river up my street. It's a beast. I've been taking it freeze-dried krill. Also found a colony of grass pickerel. Really, I want to. Oh, they are magnificent. I've had one, and it was the most beautiful fish I think I ever had. Oh, it, making my mouth water. Wow, a colony of them, no less. That's pretty exciting stuff, Amber. A colony of grass pickle. Yeah, we're going to have to bring a net up and catch some and get a tank set up. You need a bigger tank. Maple Street's got some that are doing quite well. You might check out his channel and see how he's doing. And he'll be on here eventually. You can chat with him about it. Oh, here we go. Michelle Kinsey, hope everybody has a wonderful day. Tam Shepard, thank you for your answer. I'll pull a plant water change. Tank's been set up since March, April, May, June, July. That's like 5 months. It should be fine. But it could be that they're buried too deep. Nutrient lockout happens to both terrestrial and aquatic plants. Yeah, it does. That's a really interesting problem. We're Dunlop talking about nutrient lockout. Not always easy to know why that is or what causes it. Let's see. Papa Shrimp, proud Papa, my youngest is 18 years old today. Yes, he was born on Labor's Day. How wonderful. Well, happy birthday to your baby, Papa Shrimp. That's exciting. Tommy Denda is here. Tam says, saw your message on Discord. Load a picture right after the stream of my tank. Tommy Denda is helping us put together this video we've been talking about that's going to have cartoon graphics in it. He's been working on that. It's going to be pretty cool. Aquatic Nest. Hi, Aquatic Nest. Nice to see you. Emily Stevens. Hi there. Pickerel is a bucket list fish for me. Yeah, me too. Me too. We're going to have to take a trip up north, Funk. You and me will drive up there and help her catch some of these guys and set up some tanks. Let's see, 53 watching and 35 likes, Michelle says. Big City, 948. Was empty for several months. Last tenants were using the house as a drug house. They got evicted, and I got the lease, but there were squatters when I arrived, and the house was trashed. Dear God. Well, you gutsy girl. I'm proud of you, Amber. Proud of you. Guppy grass testing the 1-inch rule recently due to guppy explosion, keeping 45 to 50 in a 20-gallon. They're doing great. You bet 100 will do great in a 20-gallon if you got it loaded with plants. That's the key. The more plants you have, the more fish you can have. Aquafunk, you know me so well, Father Fish. I love you, Aquafunk. Love you. Triple J, good morning, good morning. Big City, called the police and spent 3 days sleeping in the U-Haul and cleaning and painting, but now it's looking great. and my neighbors are all decent people. One of them installed gates at the entry. Bravo. Well, making good neighbors, having good neighbors and having good relation with your neighbors is just so key to being happy where you live. So good luck with that. Sounds like you're on the right track. Uh, at the install gates at the entry of the property, and the landlord covered the cost of motion lights. Totally secure and clean now. Boy, you're a workhorse, aren't you? That's great. Excited. That's nice. Plant life project. Taking a break from a project, adding sand to an existing tank. Good job, plant life project. Let's see. Maple has them. Yes, he does. Aquatic Nest says. New local Austin. Good morning. Good morning. Florida has been nothing but an adventure since I got here. I have so many stories already. Delighted Amber. We're gonna have to get you back up here. What's today? Wednesday. If you're around Friday, 8:30, come on over, or Sunday evening. Sunday would be great, and that'd be fun. You did Sunday a couple of weeks ago. Maybe you can show us around a bit. That would be pretty cool. See if you can make it up on Sunday. Mary will be here too, so she'll be delighted to see you. I know. Waterwolf 3G says Maple Street's Waterwolf. Talk a little about nutrient lockout. I don't know very much about it. I don't know why it happens, how it happens. I've only heard that it does happen. I will do some research and check my tanks and see if I can see what in my systems uh, may have been may have caused that event. So I will look into that for sure. Copy caress, tons of plants. That's it, tons of plants. Where Dunlap says the nutrient oversaturation causes a chain reaction that ultimately affects the capability of the plants to absorb the nutrients, according to the interwebs. So that's pretty interesting. That means, here we go again, talking about overfeeding. Sounds like you can overfeed your plants too. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. So, too much ferts, too much fertilizer will cause the plants to shut down and not be able to absorb anything. Think about that one a bit. My. Let's see. Oh, she's in Jacksonville, Amber is. Some parts of it remind when I lived in Harlem, only tropical. Tropical Harlem, right. I love it here. Very happy with this move, even if things started a bit rough. Well, excited for you, Amber, and happy you're in Florida. It's a great place to be. Absolutely is. I came here 31 years ago. Never left. Never left. Came and stayed. I've been out to visit a dozen times in 30 years. Probably not more than that. Maybe once a year, but I doubt it. Rowan, sometimes good neighbors are more important than good family because you interact with them every day. Amen to that, Roman. Aquatic Nest. Glad you're doing good and got moved down there. Word Download says, know your pH. If you test nothing else, test pH. Good advice. Leslie's Aquatics. What is nutrient lockout? Yeah, we're going to look that up and learn more about it. Word Dunlap is saying that it occurs when there are excess nutrients in the water column or in the system, and the plant shuts down. Big city, be sure to join SETI. Be delighted to have you, Amber. That'd be great fun. 503, remember to hit the button. Nest Amber found a magnesium imbalance can trigger the lockout. Wow. Watch your Epsom salts, guys. A magnesium imbalance. Mercy. Jason, that may be what's happening to my once giant Amazon sword that barely grows anymore. It could be that or it could be the reverse. It's hard to know. There's another thing that happens too, particularly with plants like Amazons. In a given environment, they'll reach, what's the word I want? A climax. They'll reach a climax stage where they simply will stay at that level. They'll stay at that size and they'll be alive, they'll be healthy, they'll be happy, they'll replace leaves as they die off, but they won't get bigger. They'll stay right there. Sort of like a climax forest, I guess. Now, in the wild, Amazon sword won't do that. In the wild, it'll keep expanding. I've seen Amazon swords that are like, 5 feet wide and 3 feet tall in clear waters, creeks, rivers, like up where Amber is living. They're like in the what's it, the Swanee? They'll get just immense. But in a tank, they could stunt in effect, reach a climax stage. And we are over our time limit here. And I know today's Wednesday. Is Jessie up today? I think she's taking Wednesdays off, isn't she? I need to get out of here, though. I've got to get to cardiac rehab. Got to be there at 10:30, and then I'm taking a class on dietary stuff following that. So I'm hoping to learn how to lose some weight. I'm getting stronger. I really am. I'm pushing that bike pretty hard, and I'm getting around now without pain and without being exhausted. So it's definitely getting apex. Thank you, word Dunlop. That's the word I wanted. Apex is a better word choice. Trimming roots can help. An apex forest, right. I had a red bump on my new gold barb. Treating it with aquarium salt seems to be lessening. Gold barbs need to be sensitive. Keep in mind that the only effect that salt has is to slow down the fish's metabolism, which does give it time to heal. So it's not a bad thing to do at all. But that's the effect. Its effect is to slow the fish's metabolism. It doesn't really attack disease or infection or whatever at all. We're going to have to get out of here. This is off Wednesday. But there are a couple of the fish tubers up. Thank you, Tukuli, for Scully. Okay, Mermaid saying goodbye. I got to say goodbye. High Flying Mayan is here. Hey, High Flying Mayan, good to see you. Dark River, thank you for driving with me. You're very welcome, Dark River. Stay safe. Rowan, after I lost 46 pounds, feel 20 years younger. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Emily. God bless you all. Gotta go. I will see you Friday evening at 8:30 following Aqua Malik. We'll be on at 7:30. Following Maple Street, we'll be on at 5:30. And in front of Lucas and Alex and Big Tank Kang. So Friday evening's a big time in the Fish Fam. And then I'll be back on Sunday evening at, we're going to make it 6 o'clock so we don't jam up against Aqua Malik. 6 o'clock, Sunday evening. We'll be here with Amber at Big City Beta, if she can make it, and with Mary if she can make it. So see you all. God bless. Have a great week, rest of the week, and we'll see you all Friday. Bye for now.